No problem. No problem.
Oh, there you go. Now to point things out.
My wife is saying things.
Hello.
Tell me I am. I'm not. I'm even. You need to hear, right? You need to hear.
I want to go there.
Michelle. Good. How are you doing?
How are you guys? Yeah, where you're headed?
Yeah, we know where we're at.
I saw it. I memorized it.
You memorized?
No, I just I'm hearing you guys. I'm impressed. Nice. Fun yesterday. Well, I still come here now. Yeah, we haven't even because then like 6 hours later you're eating. I know. I say that and then I go home. How's things going?
everybody. Welcome to the 66th annual Wabash Chamber of Commerce annual dinner. Appreciate everybody who made it out tonight. We'll try to get you out of here before the storms hit. I understand it could be pretty rough a little bit. I want to say first that I'm flattered to have this opportunity to be here and serve as the Master of Ceremonies this evening. I want to thank the Bulldog Battery Corporation and the Wabash Chamber for allowing me to play a role in this important event. When I got a call to serve as this, I asked them, "Are you sure you want me to do this?" I was assured, "Oh, we think you'll do a great job." And so I'm trying not to disappoint, but it did remind me of something that happened when the shoe was on the other foot. I used to run an organization that part of its annual fundraising was a dinner not too different than this, and we bring in celebrity speakers. One year we had Bob Knight, and that was very successful. The next year we set out to get Lou Holtz, who was then the coach of the University of Notre Dame football team, and he was a little harder nut to crack because our event was in October, just like this event, and that was during the football season. Lou told me, he says, "You know, I've never spoken during the football season before," and I was trying not to take no for an answer. We kept working on him, saying, "You know, Coach and I did this last year. We'll fly a plane to South Bend, pick you up. We'll give you a helicopter ride from right outside your office to right downtown Indianapolis." I was throwing everything I had at him. Finally, he agreed to say yes and do this event. The part I never mentioned to them was, "Oh, by the way, we don't pay a fee." So he took that pretty well. But once we got him to agree to do this, I kind of sat down and thought, "Oh my gosh, you know, I've got the head coach of the University of Notre Dame coming to an event during the football season." Now, this might have been a big deal then because that's when Notre Dame played varsity football. But anyhow, when he got there, I told him how much we appreciated his doing this, and he looked me straight behind and said, "I just hope you feel the same way when I'm done." So that's kind of how I feel tonight. After being selected to do this, I asked various people from the community what they thought. I started out with Beth Miller of the chamber staff, and I'll tell you, from the time I first met with her, she's had this look on her face that, like, please don't say something really, really dumb. And I promised her today at the walkthrough, I will not say anything that will be embarrassing to anybody. I promised my mother I wouldn't say anything that's going to make her cringe. So I've got a lot of people who I've got satisfied tonight. But when I met with Beth, she said, I said, "Well, you know, what are your expectations? What do you want me to do?" She said, "Well, follow me." And she led me to the storage room where she started giving me tapes and all kinds of presentations from past chambers. This apparently was my homework. And it was kind of interesting to see how long this event had been going on by the various formats of the material she gave me. She gave me DVDs, videotapes, cassette tapes, a pile of paper this big, and I walked out of there with just a mountain of material. So I spent the last 3 weeks breaking down tape like Tony Dungy before the Super Bowl. But as I dug through this, I was really quite surprised to find out how long this event had been going on. Because at the bottom of the stack, I found cave drawings of the first Chamber of Commerce dinner. Apparently that year the distinguished citizen was Og, Caveman Og. The industry of the year was Fire Starter Industries. Oddly enough, the second year the industry of the year was Fire Control Industries. So that was one step in preparation. The next step was I thought, well, what do the people who attend this event want me to do? And so I talked to various people, and I said, well, what can I do to make this enjoyable for you? And I heard many complimentary things about this event and how people look forward to it. And the only criticism that I heard was, keep it short and keep it moving. And I want to assure those people, I have a plan to do exactly that. Anybody who runs long will get the hook. That's my last attempt to look like Carrot Top, by the way. Finally, I went to my most ardent supporter and critic, my trophy wife, Beth. She has seen what happens when people put a microphone in front of me and turn it on. said, what do you think? What is your advice? And in a way that only a spouse can suggest, she said to me, just keep in mind, Joel, this is not all about you. Beth, the bruise to my ego is beginning to heal, so I appreciate what you said. So, thanks for joining us tonight. We're here to have some fun, share a meal together. Honorable Log Battery is the business of the year, and later on we'll name the 2007 Distinguished Citizen. I would now like to introduce Pastor Phil Blake of the Christ United Methodist Church for our invocation.
Thank you, Joel. You, in many ways, stole my first line because Daddy said, when you're asked to pray in public, bless the food, but don't sanctify it. So the prayer will be short for one. On the second part, though, on a serious note, practice of ministry, I have found that a lot of people are a lot like myself. We so often try to bend God to do what we want in prayer. And so seldom do we listen to the small, still voice of God to hear how God will have us to interact with people, to reach out, to truly seek the kingdom. With that in mind, let us pray. Oh Lord, bless us. We ask that you bless us as leaders within our community, within the greater Wabash Valley. We ask that you bless us that we truly will listen to you. Hear your small, still voice. That we may truly reach out to those who are hurting. Lift them up, dust them off. Help them to know, to respond, to seek the kingdom. Help us to do the same, O Lord. Bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies. Bless us this day and every day, that we may truly, truly offer your grace and mercy to those that we need, that all humanity may prosper. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
I have some clerical things to take care of, and while I do, please begin eating your salads. At your seats tonight, you found our chamber annual reports, which are courtesy of the paper. There are apparently one at every seat. There may be some if you want additional copies. Although we're sharing those with the people at your table. You may want to keep this for your files if you're a chamber member. It gives you an idea of how things are going with the Chamber of Commerce. If you'd like extras, contact the chamber office. If you don't want them, please leave them at your table and they'll be picked up to be used again for some of who might want them. Also, we have the 2008 calendars at your seats. Those were printed courtesy of the Wabash Plain Dealer and the businesses whose sponsorship allowed to make 5,000 copies available for free to the public. You may obtain more copies by visiting the Plain Dealer or Chamber office. And finally, as we begin heading toward the Christmas season, as a reminder to get your Chamber gift certificates early. Share them as employee awards, incentives, Christmas gifts. They may be ordered online through the Chamber, and then put in all Chamber businesses to keep the revenue in the Christmas and New Year wall. Thank you. Recognize any of the elected officials who may have been here tonight. Just have them recognized for their participation. If you just simply stand and wave to the crowd. Up here at the head table, I'd like to introduce those folks that are here tonight. At the far left, Mrs. Norm Benjamin, Betty Benjamin. Norm Benjamin, President of the Bulldog Battery and Representative of the Business of the Year. Amy Eads. Andy Eads, incoming Chamber Chairman. Connie Kirby. Ronald Kirby, outgoing Chamber Chairman. My wife Beth Stein. Kim Pinkerton, Chamber President. Her guest, John Brandenburg. I heard you were worried I couldn't pull that off. Debbie Lake, and the Reverend Philip Lake, who you heard speak a short time ago. Looks like everybody's pretty much finished with their meal, so we'll keep the agenda moving forward. I'd like to acknowledge the board members who are here who served as readers. Thank you very much for your service, getting people into their seats and giving them a welcome for their attendance tonight. We'd also like to thank the people, the sponsors of this event. You see the signage along the side there. Those are people who help underwrite this event for the Chamber and in cooperation with the Chamber. We'd also like to thank the Honeywell Center staff and Chef Gary Kilmer for his efforts here tonight, and the meal was delicious. I'm always amazed at how quickly they can serve everybody when you've got 300 plus people in a room and keep this event moving along. That's an important part of this event, and we appreciate all they do. In front of you, on each of the tables there are favors, which are notepads and a pen provided by the Business of the Year Bulldog Battery Corporation. There are also centerpieces. If you look at your notepads, or someone will have a colored dot on the back. those are the people who get to take the centerpieces home with them. If you won, we ask that those centerpieces will be moved out into the reception area. Terry, did you get one? You didn't win? Pardon me? I didn't win either. But we'll have those centerpieces outside of the Port Theater to be picked up on your way home. Next, I'd like to introduce Kim Pinkerton. She's the president of the Chamber of Commerce. And she will make some brief announcements and some presentation to recognize other people here who have been so important to the Chamber over the course of the last year.
Good evening. As your president, I too wish to extend a heartfelt welcome to our over 330 members and guests here tonight. I want to thank our member businesses and sponsors for continuing to invest in Wabash, for believing in this community and supporting all the programs and venues through which we work on development in this region. Your chamber has had a very successful year due to that type of commitment, and I applaud each of you for the time you give in volunteering on the many boards, committees, and task groups that it takes to grow a community. I recently had an opportunity to attend a symposium where the speaker opened with a statement encouraging us all to up yours. And we looked at him and he said, what I mean is up your attitude. And what he was addressing was that we need to focus on the things we do well in our communities. We need to tout our own horns and let people know what we have here and bring them to our communities. And we do have so much here in Wabash. We have this beautiful cultural center. We have the museum. We have the Dr. James Ford Home. We have a very diverse group of businesses. So I encourage you, talk up Wabash. Let's support it. Let's help grow it. I want to encourage each of our businesses to also remember that we're successful because we had family, friends, and mentors who believed in us. They supported our dreams. They mentored us. They invested capital, time, and knowledge in our efforts. So we too must do for our next generation of leaders. We need strong intellectual capital and ethical persons in charge of our businesses, our homes, and our government. Let's remember then to invest in our young adults, share our resources and wisdom, and help them to be successful in keeping Wabash a viable economic arena for the future. We too want their families, friends, and businesses to grow right here in Wabash County. With that in mind, we will be focusing on the basics as we move into the next fiscal year. You, our member businesses, the legislative issues that impact your organizations, community infrastructure, workforce training, and education. Your chamber will continue its strong partnerships with the Economic Development Group, Wabash Marketplace Incorporated, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, our city and county governmental units, and the local foundations to ensure we create a strong economic foundation for our future families and truly build that framework for success. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you some of the many volunteers it takes to ensure the success of our expansive chamber program of work. Without these valuable volunteers, we would not be able to serve our 7,017, yes, 7,017 members, because if you remember, all of our businesses, all of their employees, our member businesses' employees are members too. So I encourage them to take advantage of the training and programs we offer. So now, without further ado, it's my pleasure to recognize the volunteer board of directors who led your organization this past year, as well as those who will lead us through 2008. As I call your name, will you please stand and remain standing until all members have been called? Our 2007 officers. Board Chair Ron Kirby, First Merchants Bank. Board Chair-elect Andy Eads, Wabash Plain Dealer. Vice Chair Tricia Metzger, First Federal Savings Bank. Tricia's in the back. Treasurer Doug Mays, Thermofiber. Past Chair Doug Lehman, Attorney at Law. Our continuing board members will be John Anderson, Ford Meter Box Company. Rob Pearson, Wabash County RMC. Ron, of course. Kathy Jones, First Farmers Bank. Andy. Trish. Celia Briggs, Wabash City Schools. Doug Mays again. Scott Rands, Indiana American Water Company. Mark Sapusek, Visionary Web, Visionary Computers. Lynn Schaefer, Lynn's Lean Searching, Dedicated Services. Larry Hoover, Quality Electric. Thank you all for leading us from the past and into the future. We appreciate that. Also like to recognize those board members who are leaving us this year. Their terms have expired. Doug Lehman, Tina Byerly, Beacon Credit Union, Jeff Myers, ServiceSoft Echo Water Company, and Emily Ginnan Hodson of Ginnan Law Office. We thank them for their service. And we welcome our new members for 2008. Brian Campbell, Randall Miller and Associates. Diane Morris, Borders and Beyond. Judge Chris Goff, Superior Court. Phil Brown, Alaris. Skip Daughtry, Beecham and McSpadden. Brian Howenstein, True Value Hardware, Just Ask Rental. Thank you. Our board is not complete without the ex officio members who keep us in touch with everything that's going on in the community. Mayor Robert Van Landingham, City of Wabash. Dan Hannaford, Town Manager, North Manchester. Stan Bagley, Pleasant Township. Todd Minnick, Honeywell Foundation. Chula Frank, Wabash County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Kathy Roberts, North Manchester Chamber of Commerce. And Bill Kanye, Economic Development Group of Wabash County. Thank you for your service. As you know, the Chamber carries on many programs and events throughout the year, and we spend a lot of time representing our members at the state and at various regional meetings. There are many people who make this possible, and those are the people who work tirelessly on those programs and take up the task of serving on the committees. So I really want to acknowledge them. There's a whole list in your annual report of all our committees, but I want to thank the committee chairs, especially Larry Hoover does such a great job with this annual dinner. Larry, Government Affairs, Chris Goff, Wacky Golf, Brian Campbell, Education Projects is co-chaired by Celia Briggs and John Anderson. If you're noticing a trend here, think about your chamber, all the board members get involved. They each are a liaison to our committees, and that ensures a very good continuum as we go through the program of work. Public Relations, Andy Eads. Honor Student Lunch, Trish Metzger. Seminar, Lori Elzroff. Home and Business Expo, Beth Miller. Scholarship Pageant, Beth Weiner, Michelle Atkinson, and Bev Vanderpool. Membership, Lynn Schaefer, and Ag Day, Ron Kirby. So I just want to thank all of you for giving that extra time. I know you all have businesses to run, and this volunteer effort is very, very much appreciated. Thank you. And as your chamber president, I would never be able to lead this organization and do the things that we are able to do so successfully without having a great staff around me. I could never thank Beth Miller enough for all she does. Beth, please stand. This annual dinner event is a great example of all the detail she attends to daily. It keeps me in line. I really appreciate that. Melissa Hefner, some of you remember, she's a Manchester College student, intern for us this summer. Melissa has quite a knack with the things around the chamber office. We have now hired her on as our part-time addition to the office. And Betty Buchanan, well, Betty is not our paid staff. She should be, because I'll tell you, she's the one that can crack the whip and keep me in line, I'll tell you. So ladies, I want to thank all of you for your hard work. The Chamber's been in existence here in Wabash County in one form or another, maybe since cave times, but on record from 1923. And many of you have acted as past presidents, board chairs, or served in the paid executive position. I would like to recognize those leaders at this time. If you could please stand. We want to thank you for paving the way for the rest of us and sharing your gifts and talents with us. All past presidents and board chairs, please stand. of volunteers, the Chamber has so many talented individuals who share their gifts. But there are always those who work tirelessly behind the scenes, who go above and beyond without ever taking credit. This year we have 2 individuals who have taken over the behind-the-scenes details of one of our largest events and helped tweak it to a fine art, ensuring the success continues. Honor Student Luncheon Chair Tricia Metzger has relied on these individuals extensively to ensure we provide a quality forum in which to recognize our top students. And we encourage them to bring their post-education talents back to Wabash County. This event requires extensive collaboration between the schools and the committee over several months, while also taking a great deal of time to ensure students are seated with business persons from their area of career interest. And so it is my great pleasure to present tonight's President's Choice Award to Jan Roland of Wabash City Schools and Linda Van Burros of Edward Jones. If you two could please come forward, Jan and Linda, we want to thank you. Honestly, the Honor Student Luncheon takes as much detail as this event, and I know the number of hours that people you call, the phone calls, the emails, and tireless time spent together. Thank you both, Jan and Linda. We appreciate all you're doing.
Thank you, Kim. It does show how many people are involved in making our chamber as successful as it has been. This concludes the first half of the event. We're now asking that people move to the Ford Theater. There'll be about a 10-minute intermission and we'll reconvene there. We ask that people use doors 1A and 1B. And the performer, Chris Lynn, has asked that when you move into the Ford Theater, if you could take as many seats down front as possible, that would be very much appreciated. So thank you.